Tell me about your gloves, because in the past I've gotten numbness in my hands.
Yeah. So I was just telling Kathy this earlier. Basically, when I did RAAM, I got what's called nerve compression syndrome, and that's an extreme version of what I think happened to you. So when you ride and you spend a lot of time with your hands on your hoods, you can see the placement basically puts the pressure right on the center here. Well, what I found out was after I did RAAM and I went to a doctor, they had me basically, I told them my hands, they don't feel as strong as they were. And they had this gauge that they had me squeeze. And when I squeezed it, I literally almost did not move the meter. Like, I had lost almost really all strength, functional strength. And what they explained to me was that basically there's a channel where the two bones come down, where their nerves go. And because when you ride, that's the pressure point, you can actually squeeze that nerve. Well, when you do a couple 100-mile ride, you can squeeze that nerve, but it temporarily comes back relatively quickly. In my situation, when I did RAAM, I was riding for almost 12 days. I did like across the country in 11 days and 20 something hours. And the compression that I had was more severe. So they actually thought they were going to have to cut open both my wrists and actually move the nerve, because what they said is after 10 months of your nerve being active, it'll actually die.
Oh my gosh.
And unlike skin or bone, which will heal, nerve never comes back. Once it's dead, it's gone. So luckily for me, mine did come back with some physical therapy, and I didn't have to have the surgery. But as Kathy was saying, these gloves are specifically made with a channel right where that nerve channel is. So when you're on your bars, their padding keeps the pressure off that nerve channel. But if you're ever going to be spending, I think, more than 6 hours on a bike doing cross country or touring or endurance riding, I would really suggest taking one step further and really just get AEROBARs, because when you're here, it not only helps with your hands, but it also keeps all the pressure off your lower back, where when you're here, you're using your arm muscles to push yourself up all the time. So that's a lot of effort and energy that you're using. And you're using a lot of effort and energy in your lower back to stabilize yourself. But when you're here, you almost make like an L. And structurally, your bone structure actually supports you. So you're not wasting energy and your muscles in order to keep yourself upright. So for distance, I would tell you, invest in a set of these. These are just clip-ons. You can clip them onto any of your regular road handlebars. I like the high risers, because if you get something, a lot of, like, if you'll see like time trial bikes for triathlons or time trials, they have these AEROBARs, but they're really low. So you got these guys who are like really down here being aerodynamic. But really for me, for cross country and ultra endurance stuff, I want to be high up, because I don't want that strain on myself. So
Yeah.
keeping me here keeps me in a real neutral position. So that's kind of how I ride this setup. And it also keeps my hands. I mean, I can ride for hours without even touching the inside of my hands on anything.
I have this impression that cross-country riders have a bias against AEROBARs for some reason.
So
is it a safety thing?
So I don't know about cross country, but road cyclists, especially ones who do like group ride races, are like swear against AEROBARs. And that's because they feel they're unsafe when you're riding in a group or a pack of people, because when you're here, you have more stability to turn. But when you're here, you have less stability to turn. So in a group ride, I can see that point.
Okay.
But if you're doing something cross country and you're not racing in a pack of people, like
Yeah.
everyone I saw who did RAAM had AEROBARs.
Okay.
I mean, if you're doing like serious cross country stuff, I've never seen anyone attempt it without AEROBARs. Like that's just,
Okay.
it's basically a standard. Like, but RAAM is a time trial, so you're not allowed to be in a pack with other riders. You'd be disqualified.
I see.
So I've never heard anyone say that AEROBARs are unsafe for that type of riding, because it's mainly that you don't want someone to turn into you or you turn into someone else, because this is such a harder spot to steer in than when your hands are here. Plus here, I have no brakes. So if I'm doing something cross country by myself,
Yeah.
and I can see what's in front of me, I'm not going to have to like grab my brakes all of a sudden. But if I have a rider who's 6 inches in front of me and he slams on my brake and I'm here,
Yeah.
I just caused an accident.
Yeah. I get it. But some places you can see a mile ahead.
Exactly. So there's no reason you can't safely be here.